You are not undisciplined. You have a structural mindset problem. And those are not the same thing. In this video, I'll explain exactly what that means and why fixing the wrong one has been costing you everything. Most men come to this channel because they want more discipline, some kind of frameworks, more willpower strategies, or whatever that is. The problem is that those things is because in this industry, most of the channels, they are selling that. But it doesn't matter how much effort you are putting in things. It doesn't matter your morning routine. It doesn't matter those specific action or little things that you implement. If you don't have a proper architecture, if you don't have a proper structural mindset on how you operate things. See, before doing any action, we must understand that we have an operating system of how our subconscious do things in a certain way. Now, this operating system is been not chosen by us. It's not chosen by you. It's been built over time in a hidden way, like behind the scenes, while you were experiencing anything in life. Okay, so now that you are trying to learn, to create, to achieve anything that it is, it requires action. That action that you do, those morning routines that maybe now you're following, those specific action that you're doing for your business, the thing that you're doing, it's not an architected system, and there is not a structure that is deciding everything that you do. And that happened because we were never taught how to really put attention to how we operate things instead of how just do the action and let it compound. Nothing never compound. No effort compound, no action compound. If the operating system is not correct, there is not a feedback loop properly installed. So I'm going to show you now what I call the failure modes. And this failure, they always happen somehow. And once you understand the failure, you can understand, I'm going to show you what to implement right now in your operating system and how you approach things and action, how you put the focus to achieve the goals that you put for yourself in a way that is that requires a lot more less effort. It's more automated and is allowing you to have pure joy when you do things instead of urgency and constant pressure. But first, we must understand the failure part. First, reset loop. Set loop. This is the worst. And I put it at first for a reason. The reset loop is when you keep doing actions, but somehow they reset. They reset in the terms that nothing is really compounding. And because nothing is really compounding, there is nothing that is carrying over on the action that you do, not big movement that you can track with a proper system to track. And you are resetting what you're doing. You are starting again. You are going to change a little bit the plan again. You're going to change that action. You're not compounding. You're not getting momentum. You are starting over because something is repeating. So first, we must be aware of this reset. This reset happened because there is a system, operating system running for you that is not measuring correctly what you are doing. So sometimes it's possible that you are doing probably even too much, or you're putting too much focus effort in the wrong thing instead of the one thing that it's really moving the needle forward for real. Okay, so this is one thing. Before going to the this one, I want to go into what I called identity lack. The identity lack is the you that you are now and the you upgraded, which is the action that you do in the middle is going to determine this version. Now, the identity lack happens because of the reset loop, but happens because you can't expect from yourself to do things and go immediately the way that you wanted them to. Because in order to do that, you must be aware of the architecture of how you operate first. That is gonna already give you in advance a preview of the future, how it look like if you do this, this, and that. So when you are guessing or thinking or hoping that things are gonna happen in that way. But without an architected system, you have an identity lack, meaning you want to do some certain things that will put you in the position that you want to be. But those certain things, you never did it in a very specific way. They are like new. So your operating system is sustaining an old identity. Okay, so you want to get to this new identity, you do the action that deserve this new identity. But then your operating system is of this old identity. And that's why you keep resetting. That's why the system keep failing. The action that you do is right. The action is not failing, but the system is failing because you are having different weeks, different months, but with the same machine. It's always the same machine. Okay, so until you are not resetting anymore and you have an architecture that allow you to not reset but finally compound the action that you do, finally get to that momentum, you need to completely change this, because this system failure is what making you at some point in burnout, frustrated that things are not going in the speed that you wanted to. The visible results, they are not there like you wanted to. Things are moving slower than expected. You don't want this system failure anymore. Okay, and you need to upgrade this identity, upgrading the system. Once you upgrade all of this, these failures change completely, because now you have an architecture that can run because you have a structural mindset. Now, what is required to have a structural mindset? Now, this is the you. This is the version of you that is not only doing action, but is not applying effort and effort and effort. It's not applying hours and hours of work in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different tasks. So you have 5 different tasks in one day, and you try to accomplish them all. No. These were the things that you do. You do the action, you don't have a proper measurement of that action that give you the data, that data compound, and this compounding finally move the ceiling for you. This can happen, but only if you are this person. Okay, this is the new you. What that means, what having a structural mindset means, is that you are not guessing the results. You're not guessing the end goal. You're not hoping that two things to happen. You already know that they are going to happen. And this is why. The why is the structural operating system that you architect with awareness before doing any single action, before doing any kind of work, before even thinking about doing what you have to do in which way. This is what is running beneath all that, which is your internal operating system. The first thing is setting the standard. Your operating floor, the base minimum. Meaning, when there is a day that I don't have motivation, that you don't have motivation, that you feel a little bit different than the other day, you need a floor minimum, because otherwise you get to the reset. The floor minimum means that when it's not the best day with the best energy, and we all men have that. I wouldn't say all the time, but along the way, we all have, right? The standard is the minimum operating floor, meaning you cannot go to zero. You don't do nothing. Like there is constant bad energy. You cannot move the real thing that gets you the goal. You cannot have that, because the operating system before make you reset, because you don't have a minimum operating floor, meaning you don't have a baseline that is running automatically, that is connected to your end goal. And then your day reset, and then you have to restart to create that energy, that momentum, that action, that compound. So you don't want this reset. You don't want it. So you need to set the standard. What is that? How that morning, those 15, 20 minutes look like? That the session that I do for my body, how does it look like? What is the minimum thing I can do when I do business or the action I'm doing? That minimum, those 30 minutes, 1 hour that count the most. And you plan this not on the best scenario, but on the lowest one, the standard, the baseline, where you are not at the best, but you are at the lowest. What are those things that still running, that you will still do, that allow you to keep that momentum that you created, so you don't reset anymore? Okay? So this is the standard, very important. Now, once you get the standard, this is the third part that is very important for you to understand, but after you understand the middle part. Now, this is what I call feedback loop. Now, the feedback loop, once you have the standard, you can operate. Okay, you can operate, you can do the action, you know what is the minimum standard. Now, feedback loop is what is going to get you with true data to upgrade and upgrade and upgrade the standard. Because we have to embrace change. And growth, it doesn't happen without change. And you understand this concept? There is no growth without change. And this concept applies to everything. Now, you're trying to create more income, you're trying to create anything digitally, physically, you're trying to learn anything, mastering anything. In order to grow and to master what you are mastering, things are going to change, because your knowledge and the things that you know and how you do them, they're going to change. They're going to change in a way that's going to allow you to achieve the thing that you are trying to achieve. First in a standard way, and then become a master of that thing. Because the master version of myself, that is at some certain point, and it's not me right now, to me to get there, it requires change all the time along the way, until I change to a point that I become that version that I wanted to master become my standard. And from there, if I want the next upgrade, guess what? I'm going to need to change, and because of this, I will grow. If I don't change, nothing changed, I cannot grow, I cannot get the mastery. So things are always changing. Positive, negative, doesn't matter. They're always changing because they're getting us there. Now, this change is a lot of data and things that happen along the way. If we don't track this data and we have a system that allows to implement on this data, improve on this data, improve on the things we do, improve on the mistakes we do, improve on how we operate and do things, we don't ever have a feedback loop that allow us to upgrade the standards. If we don't measure what we do, we cannot upgrade the standard, meaning we cannot really change at a good speed rate, and we cannot master anything in time, because at some point it becomes too long and we want to give up, we want to try something different, something that is not that thing. So measure yourself. We need to install a system that measure yourself and whatever that you do, that upgrade our standard, because we have the data, we know what we're supposed to stop doing, we know what we have to do better to improve or to do more. And because of that, we're gonna upgrade our standard. And because we upgrade our standard, we can growth and compound and have that momentum. And because of this, since this system, you can understand, is a machine, at some point it's gonna run automatically for you. Once you install it properly, because you do it with awareness. R means recovery. Recovery is the most important, one of the most important piece of the puzzle here also. It's so important because this system, if you don't have a recovery, goes to burnout. Okay, I spoke with many men, I taught many men that it doesn't matter how hard you push, how much action you do, and how much ambitions you have, that you always want to push hard, do the thing, pam, 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 fast, speed, whatever is it, you're going to be born out. You're going to be at some point in the journey with stress, a lot of stress, not one day, not 1 month, it's going to be more. And you're going to be not in a place of peace, not in a calm state of sovereignty, when you have architected systems that runs for you and you do action with joy, not urgency, not always pushing, not always with pressure. But the only way to do that and get that is with the recovery. Okay, meaning you must already know what is the recovery looks like, what do you do, and the recovery must be daily. Okay, weekly you can get a reset of the energy, not of the work that you did. That's another thing. A reset of the energy at the end of the week. But you must have a recovery, a real recovery during the day. Meaning, in the dark hours, we are not supposed to work, do business, do creation. In the dark hours, we are supposed to restore, to recover, to calm the nervous system. And because we do that correctly, the recovery, the work that we do, the action that we do when there are light hours is going to be at our best, at our peak of our performance. We're going to be at our best clarity with no urgency because we know what we are doing and when we're going to be that. We're going to what we're going to achieve based on what we are doing. We get that. We already know. We don't need to have urgency about it. We just need that consistency. Okay, but we need the recovery because most of the time, this happened a lot. Many came to me, Chris, I don't know how to stop doing what I do and then think about something else and not thinking about that. Okay, because I'm always doing that. My business become my life. What I'm, that is not life. Business is a part. The work that this is a part of the life. There are different energies along the days, the weeks, and you must master those energy. Okay, you cannot only one thing and expect everything's gonna be perfect. No, you must always adapt. You must always learn. You must be an adaptable builder. Those are the humans that will win in the new age of Aquarius, which is the age we are currently in. Okay, so the recovery. How does the last 2 hours of the day look like? What am I doing? Am I keep the input? The artificial machines are still around, meaning television, computer, phones. Am I using them? Artificial light is still there. Chaos is still there. If all these are there, it's a problem. You're not really recovering nothing. Maybe you're not doing business, but your nervous system, your state is not recovering. Okay, so those must go on, be away. The light must be natural, candlelight, whatever is it. No artificial things. Okay, no artificial things. No consumption of blue light. Okay, that is gonna kill your recovery mode, the most important, which is the sleep, and then it's gonna make you already scattered the next day. So you must install a recovery, a feedback loop, and you must create a standard operating floor that make you have an architected system, okay, that is possible because you have a structural mindset. Structural mindset meaning I know things before I do them. I know things are gonna happen because this, and that. I have already a structure in my mind. Structure decide first. Structure is the base principle of how I operate. If the structure is not designing, there is a system that I didn't design, and I have a huge design flaw. And this design flaw is not making my effort and my action compound. Is not making what I'm doing getting finally momentum, not results at the speed that I want. Okay, so we must design the system, the architecture that allow us to be the architects of our system and become the true Edenic man. Okay, my suggestion from now, start with Edenic system briefing, which is an in-depth explanation of the Edenic architecture that allow you to understand everything from commanding your energy, predicting the results that you're going to have with ease, and doing the action with basically effortless. It's that knowledge that, and it took me a long time to understand. And with that, you are gonna have a free bonus, which is gonna help you a lot right now. It's called the morning architecture, and this morning is what make you see the proper way to use the first hour of the day in order to have the clarity of execution, to not have scattered energy in the first hour of the day, and to allocate your focus properly and to really predict what is going to happen in that day. Every single day, doesn't matter how you feel. That is going to be very helpful, and it's for free completely. You find the link down in the description. With that said, this is it for this transmission. This was before. This is the upgrade, how it looked like. Do this, implement this, watch the briefing, And once you install this system, things are gonna change in a very good way for you. Momentum is not gonna be an option anymore. It's gonna be the baseline. Again, with that said, this is it for this transmission. I'll see you in the next one.